if your youth wrestler is an emotional wreck at tournaments, I'm talking 6 to 7 year olds, maybe 8, right? Beginners. But generally the younger kids. It's not a bad idea just to remove them from competition and just focus on practicing and say, we're just going to practice twice a week. You might even ramp it up to 3 times a week and not practice and not do any tournaments on weekends. Just let them learn to wrestle first. Let them, because there's some anxiety there in live wrestling, right? There's some fight or flight response that's triggered during live wrestling. There's the grit your teeth and pull the leg in. That happens in live wrestling, but what happens is when these little kids are emotional wrecks, it's just they're not getting anything out of it. It's just making them hate wrestling. And you go, well, they just need to be tougher. They're 6.5, okay? They're little kids. And some kids, now the physically more mature kids, they're going to do well in sports, right? That little kid who runs for 3,000 yards in football, he's probably going to be good at baseball too. He's probably going to be a good wrestler. Or the little gymnastics girl who can do side flips on a balance beam when she's 7. She's probably going to be good in jiu-jitsu or wrestling too. But there's also an emotionally more mature athlete too. We all mature at different ages and levels, right? So, secondly, I would say is, let's look at why they are this way. Is it coming from dad or the mom or the coaches? Inadvertently, of course, right? Sometimes we scare our kids. I had a kid, he was actually a 5-time junior national finalist, Fargo. They call it Fargo, right? He loses a match to some kid. He's a Missouri State champ. He should have attacked this kid. Our guy was like the man, right? This other kid's just, not on his level. But before the match, Craig's like, now be careful, watch out for a single leg, and don't forget this. And he reminds him of like 13 different the dad, I'm like, Craig, you're freaking nervous. After the match, our guy lost. And Craig was so mad, and Tim was like, he couldn't stand up, he was dead. And I'm like, Craig, you ruined it. You scared the crap out of your son before he went on the match. Why not just say, one deep breath, Tim. All right, you're a 5-time national finalist, 3-time champ. Rip this kid's head off. Let's go. Tim would have went out there and done it. But instead, you were scared, and you scared your kid. And then you're mad at your kid, and it's your fault. So make sure that is not coming. Mom and dad, it's like summer camp. When your mom and dad are homesick, it's over. Send me a plane ticket. We're going to send somebody out of here, all right? Let us work through it, and we'll work through it. When mom and dad are scared, or the coach is scared, it's over. Mom and dad, why don't you just stand there stoically? Coach, just say, hey, have a game plan for the match. This is going to be a tough opponent, okay? You're probably going to win, but there's no guarantees. Are you okay with that? Okay. You've been looking great at practice. You don't have to beat him by 10 points. Let's just try to learn how to win the match. Get the win and let's get out of here. I think you can do this. We just have to be tough on bottom. Remember, that's been something we've been working on. Okay, so one deep breath. All right, let's go out there and have fun and try to score points. Be tough and mean, and let's try to see if we can win this match. Okay? All right, give me 5. And then send them out there. And if you're doing that and they still can't take it, then remove them, okay? And you may not have to remove them for 5 months or 3 months. You might have to. Probably not a bad idea. But I think we don't need to throw them in the competition arena immediately. So maybe you start to see some improvement there. Secondly, or third thing I would say is, have them watch other sports. Okay, the famous baseball player, he's not crying before he goes up to hit the baseball. He's not crying after he strikes out. He's not crying after he hits a grounder and gets thrown out at first base. He just comes back later and hits a home run. Okay, we're in this for the long haul. We don't want to lose, and we don't think about losing, and we assume victory. But if it does happen, we're going to pick up the pieces and move on, right? We're going to learn how, we're going to learn. We're not going to be fearful, okay? And so you can teach them by watching other wrestlers too, but also other athletes on TV. So, there's some sort of behind the scenes sort of tricks there. But ultimately, if it's not working, just have them practice and get a lot of wrestling time in and have fun and say, we're going to wrestle later. All right, we're going to do some baseball this summer. Then next season, maybe a couple of summer tournaments, but we're going to get back at it next year, and we're just going to focus on getting better. All right, that's it. Good luck.